Hi, second graders, and welcome to science. This week we're going to be learning about insects and their habitats, so let's jump into it. Did you know that insects are animals too? There are thousands of different kinds of insects. You can find insects in all of the land habitats. An insect's design. We can see part of God's design for insects just by looking at their legs. All insects, when grown, have 6 legs. Some beetles' legs are designed for running. A grasshopper's hind legs are designed for jumping. A honeybee's legs are designed for gathering pollen. A praying mantis has 6 legs, but walks on only 4. He holds his front legs up in front of his face. It looks like he is praying. His front legs, which have little spikes on them, are designed to hold its prey. The praying mantis is one of God's gifts to farmers. The praying mantis eats beetles, caterpillars, flies, moths, and grasshoppers, which would hurt the farmer's crops. So look carefully. So an ant has 6 legs, a beetle has 6 legs, a praying mantis has 6 legs, but a spider has 8. So a spider right here only has 8 legs, but all the rest will have 6. So out of these 3, one of them is not an insect. That would be the spider. How do we know? Because it has 8 legs. And we know that because part of God's design that all insects will have 6 legs. The part of an insect. All insects' bodies have 3 main parts. The insect's head contains its eyes, mouth, and antennae and brain. The thorax is the middle section of the insect. We would call it the motor of the insect because the legs and wings are always on this part of the insect's body. The abdomen, the last part of the insect's body, contains the organs that the insects need for living, such as its spiracles and its stomach. So up here we've got the head, we have the thorax, which again, remember the legs, and if it has wings, they'll be connected here, and then the abdomen, which is going to hold all of its organs. So looking over here, if we want to identify some insects, we can circle a honeybee, a wasp, an ant, a praying mantis, and a housefly. These are all insects. How do we know that? Because they have 6 legs. Looking at a spider, looking at a daddy long legs, a centipede, and an earthworm. These are not called insects because the spider and the daddy long legs, they have 8 legs. A centipede, I'm not sure how many legs it has, but I know it has way more than 8. And an earthworm has no legs, so therefore not considered an insect. So really quick, a little do you remember. Number 1, all insects have what legs? 6. All insects have blank body parts. They have 3. Which of the insect's body parts contain the stomach? That would be the abdomen because it contains the, what was it? I'm drawing a blank here. The organs. Thank you. Number 4, what is the name of the middle section of the insect? That would be the thorax. Remember, this is where the legs, and if it has wings, that's where it's going to be connected. And number 5, which part of the insect contains the eyes, mouth, antennae, and brain? That would be the head. So quickly, you have the head is here, we have the thorax here, and the abdomen right there. How insects grow. All insects are hatched from eggs. After they are hatched, some of them go through many changes before they look like an adult. This is called a life cycle. Many insects, like butterflies, have 4 stages of growing: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Quickly looking at the life cycle of a butterfly, we have an egg, then we have a larva, then we have a pupa, and then we have an adult. So the cycle of a butterfly, the life cycle. Butterflies lay their eggs on leaves. The eggs begin to hatch. The animal that have hatched are caterpillars. The caterpillars eat the leaves of the plants. Then the caterpillars form a chrysalis. In God's perfect time, a butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. A moth caterpillar will spin a cocoon rather than form a chrysalis. So quickly, butterflies form chrysalis and moths form cocoons. So a life cycle of a grasshopper. Some insects, like grasshoppers, have 3 stages of growing: egg, nymph, and adult. Grasshoppers lay their eggs in the ground. After some time, the egg hatches. The animal that has hatched, they are called nymphs. They look like tiny grasshoppers. As the nymph gets bigger and bigger, it sheds its outside skeleton several times. Once the grasshopper is fully grown, it is called an adult. Even though insects go through many changes as they grow, they always become the insect that they were meant to be. A butterfly egg will always become a butterfly. A grasshopper egg will always become a grasshopper. God has planned it this way. So a quick little look at the life cycle of a grasshopper. Egg, nymph, which remember looks like just a small tiny grasshopper, and then an adult. So it hatches from the egg. It's a tiny little baby grasshopper. It's going to shed its exoskeleton or its outside skeleton until it becomes a full-grown adult. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for our short science lesson. Thank you, guys.